Hey everyone, Tom here, back with yet another episode of BattleRapresume, here with a huge legend in the UK scene, undoubtedly. This guy has battled Briggzy, this guy has interviewed Salma Hayek. You know, this guy is incredible, his accomplishments, and we did do an episode before, and it's one of those ones that I'm a fucking idiot and I've deleted, it's been lost. Lazy Ass Jack resides there as well, I think me and Mr. Tongue Twister and whatever, but so good to have him back. Bam, how's it go, man?
How are you going to compare Briggzy to Salma Hayek? Like,
what is
just off the bat,
can you do
like,
a multi
straight away,
like, yeah, I just
put them in the same bracket.
Yeah,
like, that's
hell yeah.
crazy.
Hell yeah.
One of them's the most beautiful person in the world, and the other one's Briggzy.
No.
So, shade thrown off the bat there, Tom.
Yeah. I just, so many people, their verse tracker page ends and it's like, okay, you know, real life or whatever. But for you, it has blossomed into this incredible thing that I just had to, you know, get in there. We'll get to that. I want to go back to these early days. Like, you know, I remember when we did the first Ruin Your Day episode and we covered Killer Question versus Nico. You're in the front of that battle. That's one of the ultimate Don't Flop battles in my eyes.
One of the best events as well. Like, we talked about it so heavily, but just one of the best events. Like, and I only went because of Nico, which is like, you know, that's an amazing thing in itself. The fact that I was just like knew this person, and then the world he brought me into, like, that I couldn't foresee, was like, obviously I was aware of Don't Flop at that point, but you know, I was viewing life through the eyes of Nico for that day, and it was pretty damn interesting. I'll tell you that much.
And, you know, going back to, you know, your childhood when you're getting into rap and writing and that sort of thing, like, who are the early people that you really like to listen to?
Man, I grew up on, like, commercial rap, like, and then just a bag of just terrible music that my dad tried to force on me.
What, like?
For ages. Like, you know, like, he made me grow up on watching, like, Beat Street as a movie, like, all the goddamn time.
Okay.
Like, and things like that. And, overall, the way I got into rapping more than anything, was I get a track, you know, take anything you was like bumping as a kid when you was getting into rap. Probably something with Eminem, like, because, you know, looking back, he's quite kid friendly despite being so outrageous all at the same time. So, like, you know, you take that, but then eventually the CD gets to the instrumental, and it's there where you start to, like, emulate and formulate, like, ideas and stuff. And you just, you know, I just always remember playing, like, PS2 and just eventually just having CDs of instrumentals that I'd like copied, because my dad had this CD copy of back. It's all, you know, we're going back, man. Yeah. And this isn't even tapes, but same thing. And I was just like, you know, have a bunch of instrumentals, and then I just keep rapping for, like, infinity. Like, as long as I played a goddamn game of Spyro or something. Like, you know what I mean? I just keep rapping and keep rapping. And then eventually, we had this eccentric teacher in year 6, and this guy, like, wanted to do Jungle Book, but he wanted to make it like the urban Jungle Book, like the urban jungle, right? You know, you can see what he's thinking, this dude. So he decided that the monkeys would be Ali G, which is kind of funny because, you know, like, he's gone for, like, a parody of kind of black traits and then paired it with monkeys. But whatever, at this age, we didn't know this. We're like, cool, we get to be Ali G. Okay, let's go. So, we have to do this, and, like, we had to perform a rap. And it was at that point, like, when we did it, he was like, you was, like, one of the clearest. I definitely want you at the front. All this, you know, I'm like, okay, sick. I finally got my gig. All of this shit I did in my room, whatever. Like, let's finally do this. And then it came to showtime, and we had these wireless mics, which to me, like, blew my mind, innit? But, like, I didn't even have cables and stuff. They cut out, you know. It's like late 90s. They ain't got things worked out properly. So, in the moment, I like, you got to keep rapping, innit? The show's got to go on. Like, that's the one thing I've always remembered about, I think, performance as a whole, that a lot of people, it's been one of my key things, like, from shooting, like, music videos for people or watching people perform all of the time and stuff. One of the things that most people forget about, right, is, like, you control that space. You know, that's what separates the performer a lot of the time and stuff. So in that moment, like, that's kind of where I got my little ethos that, like, the show must go on, you know? Like, so I just started fucking shout rapping, trying to get it to the back of the room and stuff, and it got through it, and the guy was like, oh my god, that was so great of you, I can't believe you've done that, whatever. We did it for a couple more nights, you know. It was like, we had to do an encore performance
Victory
and stuff,
lap.
parents that couldn't make it and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's where it started. And over that summer, I remember we got EJ on my computer where you could just put little beats and stuff together, and then we started recording over them and all of this kind of stuff. Like, and then obviously this was like when grime started. Like, the first time I heard Dizzy Rascal was like at the summer party in year 6 or something.
Formative
around
time
that
to
time,
hear
or
that.
maybe like year 7 even, like maybe it was coming back, like, and it was like us crashing as a senior year to our year 6 like old summer party, which makes no sense because you don't even go to the same school, but we did it because it was so local.
Who are you? But still, like, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
But you called Bamalam at this time? When did the name come?
Bam came quite on early, right? Because, all right, so my dad's making me watch this movie, yeah? Beat Street, right? And the lead graffiti guy in Beat Street is Ramo, right? And he dies, Ramo, right? So he dies on the train tracks, R.I.P. And so I started writing Bamo in it because it was easy enough to emulate letters. Like I'm saying, when you're young, you start to copy and understand things before you develop like an originality behind it and stuff, you know? Eventually, Bamo I didn't like in it, so it became Bam, which is a lot better. Bam became my MC name for ages, and then eventually, like, I was just like, it's not that it's not popping, but Bam became my nickname, like, because this was a young age, right? So then eventually, like, you know, going through secondary school and stuff, people's parents would call me Bam, thinking that was my first name because it's just always sort of stuck around.
Right.
So eventually, I was like, I need to kind of separate this. This is kind of my nickname. I don't want to rap under this. And Bamalam just came much later down the line, you know, like from a combination of things, like originally being Bam, but you know, like there's a couple things about it. Black Betty as a song has an influence because it's fucking jokes in it. Like the kid went blind, yeah. I had to wear glasses. Like the kid went wild. Like I was a crazy kid growing up. Do you know what I mean? The little child in that song. So there was like Bamalam from that. But then there's also like Bam Bam, you know, the classic tune, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, you know, the tune What a Bam Bam, which, you know, again means like what's the trouble? What's going on? So trouble again. Like there's this reoccurring theme across the board, right? And then other thing, Traffic Jam came along as a song. Bam, bam, and I was like, yo, bam, bam, yo, I got it. I combined all of this shit together, and that's how I got the name. Do you know what I mean? And it worked way better as an MC because it separated me from, like, you know, Bam comes up under a lot of things. If you try search that in Google and stuff, you got to be. It's the same reason Gemini put ones in his name and stuff. But you got to be more creative than that and think about the SEO. You don't want to have ones in your name when you're putting out a CD. You know, you want to stick to something that's going to adapt further, right? And a word that people ain't never heard of, or kind of heard of, but kind of know, but don't know. Perfect, you know? Thinking with that market in mind that would later come into play down the line, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's how I got to that point, you know, but that's over years. Like that's like about 17. Like, you know, I started rapping when I was in year 6. Like this is by 16 and stuff, I'm doing like dubstep raves and whatever, like and sneaking into clubs to MC and seeing people like scream in a little pub, and my boy was like DJing after him and stuff like that. And that was a really cool experience because again, that's how you learn to perform, MCing in those sort of environments for like ages, you know. All the way up to 21 where I'm working in a situation where it's like, okay, I'm working for a media company, and across the road is this events company I'm also working for, and they're a big hip hop thing, and I'm now sort of aware of Don't Flop, and I've gone to a couple of events, like, you know, I'm starting to get into it. I'm starting to watch battles. I've been watching battles from a much earlier age, like, and, you know, it all became, like, it all rolled into one another eventually, and then boom, there I am in Don't Flop in the background, and then eventually, you know, I say I want to help out on some events, and I was like, I kind of want to get you in for a battle, even though he doesn't know I rap or nothing. Right. I don't know what that's about. He's just trying to recruit. He assumes people rap and shit, you know what I mean? And I'm like, well, you're not going to let me help out on events or nothing unless I prove myself, I guess. So I guess I'd take a try. Originally, it was meant to be in Essex, and then that got cancelled, which I was happy about because I didn't want to go to Essex in the first place. So I was glad that happened. But then he said he's going to move all the Essex MCs here, and I'm like, okay, cool, we'll do it in London, whatever. And that's when I had to battle Phest, and that's kind of how it all started.
In other words, what I'm saying is, anyone from your ends is a fake bitch, so face it, I gotta win. I'm pest control. Phest couldn't bury me. I'm a manifestation of someone you'll never beat. You came from the Essex streets to get your rep decreased, where your girls look like leather seats with STDs. Phest believe, I won't lose cause you can shout higher. I know your every move like a route finder. Who you to claim you've ever been about fire? Your crew's never been in the game, that's why they're outsiders. And your bars are trash. You flow like a heart attack, trying to rush words over dubstep party tracks. Any verse you wrote, I wouldn't wipe my ass with that. Any beat you wrote sounds like your ma just flaps when she's passing gas.
And just before we get to that, I need to watch Beat Street. I mean, you've mentioned it a few times, and apparently Biggie references it on Ready to Die.
This is what I'm saying, yeah. It's like this is a movie that had Grandmaster Flash turning up and dropping the 64 bars in commemoration of the dead Ramo. Like, he custom wrote bars for that, you know? Like, it's also like, you know Jedi Mind Tricks, yeah?
Of course.
There's that sample where it's like, all your crew's biters, so what's up with that or whatever? Like, because it's like, hey man, you biting? No. Like, and that's where that comes from. And it's all big about breakdancing battles and stuff. And basically how hip hop like evolved in New York to a degree, like, and how they used to take over houses and stuff. But yeah, watch it. An amazing movie. Watched it too many times now, but like, yeah, it is actually really good.
And getting into battling then, just before, you know, you hit the stage, like, who were the big influences for you there? Who are the people that you really liked?
All right, so when I, like, in that section, when I'm doing dubstep praise or whatever, I'm chilling with my boy, like, a lot of the time, right? And we used to watch all of these things, all of the, like, we'd watch better shows, like, you know, just get high and get through things, like, whatever. That was the MO for a lot of the days when I didn't have anything going on, right? So battles start coming into play. And obviously, you know, the beautiful thing about YouTube, even at this point, is, like, if you come into it at the right time, yeah, I'd seen some jump-off battles and stuff, but he's like, remember those, yeah? Now it's, like, written and stuff, and it's just, like, way more better. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, just watch this, right? So we started watching the grind time battles when they're, like, 10 minutes long and stuff. And instantly, like, there's not, at that point in time, there's not really anyone too bad. You pretty much are rooting for everyone. You just want to watch a really good battle. Like, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, they're all your favorite to a degree for different reasons, you know? Like, someone like Disaster stands out for you, like, for a complete different reason that someone like Thesaurus does. But then you got someone like FLO, like, you know, like, that just comes in completely different or something. So it's like, we're watching these battles right here. And the funny thing about it is, at the same time, we're watching a show called One Piece, which is a show that's really deep to me because I got the tattoo on my arm and shit of my own custom fucking pirate flag, right?
Huge
Massive
manga, right?
running, and huge running anime. And it's all about this dude that's following his dreams, and he forms a crew of people that follow their dreams, and that's it. You want to get to the end goal. And me and my boy are rolling deep at this time, yeah? And he's like...
Is this Cystic, sorry, or...?
No, this isn't even Cystic.
Okay.
This is before Cystic. But Cystic was around. Cystic was
get to
like,
Cystic.
Cystic was coming to like radio stuff.
He was young. On the show,
he was like 14 at this point, or like maybe 13. Like, I don't know. He was still in school and stuff. Like, he'd come out at the weekends if we were doing a radio set because we used to do stuff on this little radio station, that kind of stuff. But at the week, I'm chilling with this guy, watching One Piece and watching battles. Two related things, fucking fights everywhere. Yeah, dreams. My boy turns to me one day and says, "We'll be the fucking king of MCs," which I know we're not now, but you gotta have a dream, right?
You got close.
So. Like, this is what I'm saying. So I've got this belief that we're going in with, yeah. And he's like, we're gonna meet these people and blah blah blah. Unfortunately, like, we don't hang out anymore as like things happened. You know, our story split, and that's how it goes. I carried the fucking torch, you know. I went on and kept doing stuff. And at the time, he was rapping and he was great, but like he just didn't pursue anything like that, you know, and I just had to keep going. And at this point, Cystic's a bit older and stuff. We're making more hip hop because I'm kind of bored of doing dubstep. I'm bored of doing anything sort of grime related because I'm at that point in time, I'm a little bit older and I'm like, I want to rap with a bit more meaning, and I can't always do that at 140. So you start switching tempos and messing about with different stuff, like, you know what I mean? And that's sort of how we got to like the whole divine rights thing and blah 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 blah. But that's why, like, when I was going into something like the Dialect battle, like, and everyone's like, "There's no way Bam could even rap on grime. I've never heard him on grime." It's like, bruv, I've been doing it in the fucking club for like 6, 7, like 8 years of my like teenhood. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just in the. I've moved on from that for a reason because I don't really like just like rapping for the sake of rapping or rapping for the sake of flows. I like rapping for something that someone could relate to because that's basically what I gravitated to more as I grew older, you know? So that was kind of how I like to give back, you know, what I've like learned and so on and so forth.
I mean, the 2-bar reload goes down in the Dialect battle.
I mean, exactly, but that's what you have to do when you're like fucking
Luna
doing
goes crazy for
with,
it,
like,
as everyone does.
18 people and stuff. It's mad, isn't it? Like, so yeah, doing all of this stuff. I've moved on, chilling with Cystic. We're doing divine rights, like. And, you know, battles are a massive part of just life at this point in time because you've been watching everything and then you realise Don't Flop is a massive thing and it's getting better at this point in time because, you know, at the start, grind time just sort of holds the light. And I've never really been a fan of URL battles. Like, that's just me personally. It is what it is. It is what it is, right? So, yeah, that's where we're at. Like, watching Don't Flop, rapping, doing a couple of performances, little music videos, whatever, going to these events and working for an events company that I think, because of what we do and the fact that we work out of Jam directly because we're in the office above Jam, I'm like, well, we can fucking cut you a way better deal with getting Jam and also doing an event where, because we have a bunch of acts that do live performance and stuff, try and do a longer day where it merges the two, whatever, all of that kind of stuff, you know? So I've been speaking to her a bit and stuff, and it gets to the point where, like I said, time to do a battle, innit? You've been doing it enough. I jumped up on mic one time because like it was an open mic session and it was only Pamphlet and Pedro, so I was like, I'm gonna jump up. Like there's no one else. Like there's all these rappers in this building, but no one's rapping. Fuck it, I'm gonna just drop a 16. And Pedro, you know, you gotta understand, those two people are two of the most supportive people you ever meet. So it doesn't matter what the fuck you went up there and spat. The fact that you've got up on the stage and done something, they're like, yo, that was sick, you know, because they're fucking great people. Like so. After that, I'm like, okay. So when I was like, yeah, like, you know, a little bit down the line, I'm like, well, if I can fucking perform in the same sort of situation, it should be fine, innit? And then, yeah, it came to, like, writing my first battle, which is it was a lot easier. I tell you this, it's a lot easier when you first start. It's a lot easier when there's no expectation of you as a battler, right? When you don't have, like, people always, like, are looking for certain, they're looking for you to evolve, but they're also looking for almost like the same sort of tropes and the same performance they've liked, which is like, you know, why people didn't really, like, a lot of people liked, like, Jem's performance because it's like, fuck it, you can do something different because it's a different stage and it's a new audience and stuff, at like URL and stuff. But then there's other people that hold on to what they believe an MC or a battler is, that they can't get over it when they see a different kind of approach and stuff, you know? So yeah, going into a first battle was really nice and easy to actually fucking write.
This day that it takes place on, the first quarter tryouts, is a historic fucking day. We have like Tim Berners-Lee inventing the World Wide Web in 1989 and V Day, but this fucking day,
this is a day.
This is where Enigma tried out, C Major, Mr. Tongue Twister, Ogmios.
This is a day, and it's like, I've been to a few events at this point, you know, so I know I've seen internationals perform at this point, but I'm there, and I watched like the first battle, which is Enigma versus Tongue Twister, and it's like, yo, like, people are like, this crowd is on fire. This is pressure. Do you know what I mean? There's an atmosphere in here. Like, it's very different when you're performing in a dark club, looking out to all the starry-eyed people that don't understand what the fuck you're saying because it's 4 a.m. and they're on drugs, yeah, compared to like people that are just starting to get drunk at the start of a day, in the middle of the day, listening to a cappella format, you know. And there's a real buzz in the building, like, and it, like you said, it's so many just good battles that, like, every battle, even someone like Phest, like, that didn't stick around, still got good reaction and put in a decent performance, all things considered, you know? Like, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, totally. I mean, he is kind of an archetypal, you know, your mom's a cum sponge sort of post-lunar battler, you know, as symptomatic of his era. Do you remember your first line?
What's poppin', Fester? How's life as a sock molester? Whack, yeah, but great multi. Like, but it also makes sense, so it's not that bad. Like, but I'm like, now looking back, I'm always like, that's hilarious. Why would you? That's your open. Like, you could say anything to a crowd to start off with, but you call the guy a sock molester, which is even more immature than any mum joke he said so far. But at the same time, it's quite intellectual. So, like, you know what I mean? I wasn't too sad about it. It was my opening gambit, and it worked. So it's what it is.
It did what? You project well. You've got that year 6 Jungle Book kind of steez going on. That's here. What I'm like, saying. You know, the volume.
The show must go on. The show must go on.
Picking up a brick, working a construction site, and bringing an end to festivities.
Classic.
Like, I think you're right. It heats up as we go on, but it's pretty formidable as far as tryout rounds go.
And I mean, like, this is the thing that's sad, like, because like I'm saying, at this point, yeah, my influences and all I have to go on is just like how I know how to rap, right? And like my favorite rappers at this point in time, when it comes to just listening to stuff, are people like Sean Price or Copyright, where it's just relentless punchlines. It don't even matter. Like, they're not trying to make a tune that you're trying to listen to with a girl. They ain't trying to get into the charts with it. Yeah, you're just trying to fucking illegally download it and listen to it with your boys just smoking weed and going, yo, that was a dope punchline if you think about it. Like, so at that point in time, I'm trying to write like at that sort of level. I want everything to hit. I want it to be succinct. I want it to be as quick as possible. I'm trying to keep it like, you know, as I go on in my career, I get fucking ballsy and start doing like fucking like 16 bar schemes. Nobody wants to fucking hear that unless you've got the heart and passion to do it. At that point, you don't really do it. You don't. You just know that fucking if you multi shit for that long, people are going to react because that's how fucking typical it goes a lot of the time, you know. But at this point in time, it's pure. And it's also around that point where you still loved battling, where it was fucking 10-minute battles that you watched, like you watched 5 or 6 of them to the hour. Like, you know, or you watch the Don't Flop battle and it's punchline, or someone like Kruger is one of your favorites because the amount of times he hits you, like, do you know what I mean? Like a thousand punch silently, bruv. He's killed you and he hasn't even moved. Like, how does that work? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's that sort of like critical thinking that I really loved about battling when I was getting into it and stuff. So that's how I went into that battle. Like, so, you know, some of it, you know, I think punchlines are like just as bad as wordplay in as they can be risky if you get way too into it and you're trying to make a punchline out of everything, and you got to know when to breathe and you got to know when to naturally make, you know, it progress into a 4-bar and you filler it out a bit more, but it sets up a bit better so it flows better and things like that. But yeah, like at that point in time, I always said it to me, like, he's like, I always think your first performance was probably your best. I think up until Dialect it probably was, just because, like I said, raw in it. Like, just there's no precedent at that point in time. There's no you've got to do this, you've got to do. It's just go out there and fucking have a good time. But you know, that is what it is.
And Phest certainly has a good time with a lot of generic racist multis in his first. You look like an Afghanistan crossed with Taliban that got lost in Pakistan during Ramadan.
Rate it, like, because it's just like, you've got to think about this, yeah. Like, he realised that all of those things rhymed and put them together. So good on him. Like, he didn't think about the repercussions. He didn't think about maybe like if someone sees that in 5 years' time, is he going to lose a job or something? It didn't matter to him. All he knew is that Stan and Gan like rhymed, and he was like, "We're good, we're good."
And he does struggle with his cap throughout the battle. I don't know if you recall.
Yeah, he's like really fidgety, which I get, innit? Like, because like, but like, you know, you've got to let go of that in the moment as well. Like, because again, telltale signs and stuff. People are like, why are you touching your hat so much, man? What the fuck's up with you? Like, they start thinking about that instead of the bars. What's that about? And he said vodka, which made it even worse. Like, I think that's where he lost the crowd. When he said 10 bottles of vodka, like, I think that's where everyone was like, yeah, no, this guy is probably not going to win this battle now. And that was it.
But you definitively close out the battle, I think, in the third with the all my G's turned her throat into an orphanage line.
I mean, like, you know, let's like
it's kind of one of your hardest lines. Like, that's
great. I wrote that. Like, I don't even remember that. I was just thinking about the Essex stuff. Like, I just remember
got a jaw to split. Yeah.
Wow. Graphic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, MA brings up the line as well, and it is.
Yeah, there you go. MA seal of approval. Yeah. Which is always a good thing.
He had lots of dirty cunt stuff from Phest as well, and that sort of like just kind of quite gauche on uninteresting stuff. Mickey saying Phest was entertaining, but he gave it to you. MA refers to himself as Rick Boss or Dirtbag Stan, and he has the orphanage line. And Pedro says that you take it as well. You know, 6th battle, so you've been waiting a while. The build-up must have been intense throughout. It must have felt great to come out with a victory here.
I mean, it does, and that's the problem with not the problem with battling, but I think is it embodied. Like, it's so true, innit? Like that, it's not even the reaction yet. The reaction is a drug in itself yet, but also that win. You go, yo, I bodied that I definitively am better than that human being for a second. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that's not all of it, but it is. You are like, yo, who's next? Like Goldberg style, innit? Like, let's go. Like, I'm ready. Like, even fucking William Regal ain't stopping me. You know what I mean? Even if he ain't gonna play against the Bulls.
You were busy early on. Like, you got battles I haven't even seen. You've got this battle with Cystic against statistically one of Don't Flop's most disliked battlers. Did an episode on top 10 most disliked Don't Flop battles, and Samuel Swags was on that.
Yes,
versus
amazing.
Risk.
That guy.
He's kind of like a killer question type cult hero in terribleness.
They were so bad as well. Like, the only thing about that battle that I don't really understand at this point in time is why it was so aggressive. Okay. That's the only thing. Like, we were really aggressive. We had like just this really, but like, I think it was just because like they were representing another league. So it's like, yo, bruv, don't flop all day. It's the cult at this point in time, innit? We're in. We've won some battles, boys. We're in. Like, now we've got to fucking represent. If we see another clan, that's it. It's game over for them. Like, so we had this mad, like, it was just like arrogant, like, we're battling these absolute losers. But they are, innit? There you go. Statistically, one of the most hated. So we were right. And I'm sure people didn't even pick up on that. But I, looking back now, go, why did you act like that? I'm going to blame it on, like, the fact that they were just so terrible. You know, sometimes you get so angry at
they antagonised you.
So bad.
Yeah. I mean, Samuel Swags brought out his prop. Do you remember his, like, water bottle binoculars, like, taped together?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like, you don't do that. Who does that? Why do you take time out to do arts and crafts? Like, if you're doing a battle, like, write better lyrics first, yeah, and then work on what your second plan is. Like, I don't understand that ever. And weird enough, the funniest thing about that place is the place that we battled is somewhere that's like super like close to home for me, because I like my parents are both from out of town, but it's like Reading and Wokingham, and that was just. It was meant to be Reading, but it was in Wokingham. It was by Wokingham Station, yeah, which is somewhere which I've grown up. Like, I've been there so much times. They got Joel Park, which, like, you know, I was told was named after me, which by the age of 8, I realized it wasn't, which is quite unfortunate because I could read what it said on the sign, and it was like, you know, blah, 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 in this land, so on and so forth. Unfortunate. But yeah, the whole land, something deep to me. So I was like, I'm not losing. Like, this is like home, like even more home turf. This is grandmama's land, you know. I got to fucking definitely win here. I used to swim in the swimming pool just over there. That was a good battle, but that's what I mean, active at that point in time. It was fun. Also, though, the reason I was forced to be active is because that tournament came out straight away.
Yeah, you were right into it with C.
Impact before that, right?
Yeah, Impact before that. So, you know, this early 2012 sort of movement that you're now, you know, within, quite visibly a big member from the off. I remember watching you around this time. Like, Don't Flop was getting huge, wasn't it? It was really, you know, on the boil at this point.
Well, yeah, those tryouts came out at the same time that Mark Griss and Blizzard was getting, like, TV coverage. So it was literally, those uploads were getting like 50k for tryouts, which was unprecedented at that point in time, just generally for tryouts on like especially like Don't Flop, do you know what I mean? So like it was on the up, and you know they did well to like really get the best out of everyone at that point in time, because we all just got thrown in it straight into that top 8 tournament. Had to battle Impact. I remember straight after the Phest battle, like I was chilling with Impact, being like, "Oh, you were sick," and then Kruger and came out and they were like, "Yo, like, yeah, both sick, you guys should battle each other." And we are like, "Oh, I don't know about that." Boom, on the next card straight away. Knew it was fucking coming. And that was a close battle. Like, Impact is a scary guy at that point in time to battle, isn't it? Like, he's just like not scary, but he's so hype, like so hype, and I'm generally quite chill. Like, you know, I don't like people shouting at me as a general thing, because it makes me be like, why are you shouting at me? I don't like being like that. I just like being like, stop shouting, calm down, we're chill, smoke this or whatever, you know, like whatever you need to do. So like at this point in time, he was my first like, okay, people are really going to shout at you and be like fucking hype, but also just like powerful delivery with good lyric, like good like punchlines and stuff behind everything he was saying, like a lot of the time. Like, so yeah, that was a lot. That was my first real battle, and that's what I needed to do. You know, like it was an actual battle, and that's what you want to do. Like, there's no point in doing like a battle that's just one-sided. That's not fun. Even when, like, for the people in the building, you want it to be close, right? So yeah, Impact was a sick battle.
And moving on then to the top 8 tournament battles that both go down in Concrete. I mean, crazy to see Concrete as lively as it is. I think these are some of the best events ever filmed in the venue. It's so dead on later camera events. Oh
man, like yeah, but again, this is just this is what I'm saying, like, where you've just
everyone loves battle rap, man, at this time.
Yeah, and it's mad. Like, it was mad how like it was a fun thing for general public at that point in time. You know, it was at the point in time where you could be like, "Hey, have you seen those battles on YouTube?" And it's like, "Nah, man, let me check them out." "Oh, do you want to go see it? It's down at the weekend. It's only like £5-10. Come, let's go." Like, fine, you know, like, and it was very much one source at that point in time, which made it very easy. Like I'm saying, with, you know, TV coverage and stuff, you knew exactly where you were going, and it just kept growing. And obviously, you still had like the wake of Lunacy mixed with this now Mark Griss like Blizzard hype, like, and it's all coming together finally after, like, you know, all of these people putting in all of this work for ages and ages. And then, yeah, decent tryouts come out as well. It's not like everyone was bad. So then you can actually have a card where you've got, who was the headliner? It was Shotty, wasn't it? It was like Shotty versus Unan.
Yeah, I believe that was Tony versus Ilmac. I think also went down.
Yeah, and Tony versus Ilmac. Yeah, Tony versus Ilmac was the headliner. Yeah, but you also had like, so you've got like international, like, on a pretty standard card. Like, you know, it seemed like a homegrown card, like, with tournament, all of this stuff happening. So yeah, of course, like, Concrete at that point in time was going to be popping, man. Too popping for my liking, because I fucking choked in the battle. Those reactions shook me to my core. Like, shook me to my core.
A lot of people got C win in this battle, I'm sure you're aware.
A lot of people do have C win in this battle, which is completely, like, and utterly fair to them. But, like, you know, I won the battle, which is cool, because I always look at it like, I could have lost the battle, right? but I didn't. Which is kind of stupid, but like I said to you earlier, innit? Like, the show must go on, innit? No matter what the fuck happens. Oh, you choked. It doesn't fucking matter. You better, like, they don't know that yet. They don't know that yet. Like, you still got around to fucking clear this up. Like, the performance is what you tell them someone is, right? So I think, combined with the fact that it was fairly tight and, like, people were like, oh, man, maybe if he hadn't have choked, this would have been, like, it would have been, like, you know, super tight to call, but I guess C Major's won this. But then mixed with, you know, someone that's like new to the game, being able to like adapt and quote unquote freestyle whatever, like is always going to be impressive to people, right? Because you're looking at skill sets and stuff, and you're like, oh, he's not even like done this fair enough. Like, but then also to fucking be smart enough to cover the mistake and shit, like it gets you extra points in it, right? And then if you can get through your round, then cool. Like, and if it's all well and good, then it is what it is. But I see why people would say like C Major won. It's completely like everything's down to an opinion in battling, innit? But unfortunately, a lot of my battles were in a period in time where you had to have a judge battle, which meant if people didn't like your fucking decision, they ultimately didn't like you. It's not like they didn't like the judges for some reason for making that decision. They ultimately they went to straight hating you as if it was your fault for turning up and just saying what you were meant to do. Like, it was a really fucking turbulent time because of judge battles. Like, I just remember a lot of feedback. Like, it's like, yeah, a lot of people do say C1 because basically any time you have a fucking judge decision, the people are going to speak up. They're not going to be like, I think so-and-so won. They don't care. They go about their day. The people that are annoyed and stuff, they have to fucking voice their opinions and shit. So you get overwave. That's why it's better just to be like, non-judge battle, and that's why you see a lot of like non-judge battles now, because people will just argue which opinion they want to get out more. But if you guide it one way, the people that agree with it are like, cool. Like, do you know what I mean? So now you've got like this sort of like everyone's getting slated or everyone's getting praised or blah blah blah. But at this point in time, judge battles, honestly, the only thing I hated of that is like I said, the backlash you get for just doing a battle. It's hard enough fucking turning up and performing, let alone having to deal with everyone being like, you lost that. I don't care, bruv. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, it's up to you to decide. But the worst one is when you go into the toilet or some shit, you've done your battle, and some guy's like, yo, Bamalam, and you're like, yeah, what are you saying? And like, yo, you lost that battle, you know? And you're like, why would you do that? I'm literally just trying to go for a piss, bruv. Wow. Like, you know what I mean? That kind of shit. So, as fun as it is, like, you know, winning.
Well, I mean, you know, you get into the final.
Sometimes it's better to lose, isn't it?
You battle Ogmios, you beat Ogmios.
Call me Kratos, I go to war with gods. You might have had that orphan stopped, but you're awfully boring, Og. I rock 8 bars for every 4 you drop. Even MA called you corny, dog. If you didn't choke against orcs, you lost. Don't think you're dope just because you brought a prop. Yeah. This pussy's insecure. Anything about himself, he thinks is raw. He tried to flip and spit on orcs. You called him a pagan G when you stole your attributes and name from a Celtic deity. I wore these glasses so this fake can see his own face looking back at him when he tries to say it to me.
A kind of weak Og, in my opinion, watching it back.
The most, like, that battle, yeah, is like, that's like, Head Ice versus Chilla Jones underwhelming, you know?
Wow.
Like,
I don't know if it's like, that underwhelming, but yeah.
Okay, but like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was like that whole tournament was built up, and then you're like, oh, all of the like rounds before this were way better than this. What's happened? Like, you know, it was more exciting to get there than it was to see what actually happened. So, yeah, I don't know, just weak performance from both, I'd say. Just a weak battle. Wasn't a fan of it.
No.
Don't know why you used that as the thumbnail for this.
I mean, that was just the nearest possible PNG, but...
you could have had, like, me with The Rock or something, yeah?
True, like, true.
Or me and John Cena, but you chose, yeah, to put
it's a battle rap show.
Like,
it's a battle rap show.
With... Oh, man. I don't even... Like, I was wearing hats at that point in time. You know what I mean? Madness.
I mean, you know, a lot of people felt like for example, in your judging, you both put on a main event performance, and I did feel that way, but yeah, there weren't enough.
You would say that, man. Like... Yeah. Im's there for those lyrical battles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he will happily wait for all of Ogmios' rounds to come out, like, and be like, yeah, sick.
But winning this, you were supposed to battle international in Birmingham, but that became Bulletz.
Yeah, it did. Which I'm not mad about, because that's it ended up on the 4th birthday, right? Which is like, again, like, legendary. Like, as far as
this battle changed so many people's, like, so many UK tastes in wordplay. It's really important, this battle.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Like,
it's kind
I've
of
spoken to
decisive,
a few people who refer to this like Woodstock or something.
Man, that's amazing. We did a battle rap Woodstock, like, do you know what I mean? In Cable's not even here anymore.
No, it's not.
Oh man. Yeah, but that battle.
Yeah.
100 bullets, like, you know, I wanted a disaster. Obviously, I wouldn't get a disaster. You want the biggest name you can fucking think of at that point in time. Like, your gas, you can have any international, you know, like, supposedly within the budget. So basically, you can have 100 bullets or Arcane, make your pick, right? So, like, I'd watched it, but I'm like, I don't know if you can, probably tell this, right? The show must go on. I'm a big fan of narrative and all this kind of stuff, yeah? For me, 100 Bullets was the perfect person, like, to battle at that point in time, because he went through the tournament. He won the tournament, didn't he? Or did he lose to
No,
Arcane
he lost in the final, yeah.
Yeah, but he won. He definitely won. Like, I feel like
he was better than
the
Arcane.
opinion was he was, like, he won that. Like, he was the rightful winner of that. And I kind of felt like I agreed with that, you know, and as someone that had just won a tournament, I thought, like, it makes perfect sense for two up-and-coming people, like, you know, it's kind of like, I wanted to look at it like it was my shot at that point in time, but I came to the conclusion that it's like our shot. If we can come out and put on a fucking sick battle with all of these people, yeah, and I know he's good, I really like what he does, but at the same time, I know exactly how I can take the piss out of this. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to have some fun here. Like, you know what I mean? So it was a perfect battle to just pick, like, I think. Looking back on it.
Third battle of the day, the first day, the first international, as I say, a really important battle for wordplay and scheming in general, I think. You know, Bulletz has some great stuff in the first. Watch Your Conduct, or, 100 kilowatts. And,
yeah, oh my days. Like, that's actually, like, you know, research game plus wordplay. Let's go. Like, you found out my last name, he used it against me. Like, god damn it.
I mean, Watts is a gift for a writer like him. There's lots of UK bands schemed off. Samuel
That's
Jackson
so true,
as well. And you know, he works well with it. You go on your similarities as well. The fact you both won tournaments. Oh wait, not him, it's me. And the differences are played quite deep. The Blacktronizing line gets a lot of laughs.
Yeah, because, you know.
So theme your bars so much you can charge bucks for advertising.
All right, yeah, let's go. That's true. It's true. He does. That would be good. I don't know why, like no one's done that. Like, you know, like, there's a lot of opportunities that I see missed in battle rap. And I think
sponsored round, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, like, how great would it be, like, yeah, before he starts it, like, this round is sponsored by it, and then just does endless, like, schemes and that's exactly why you like McDonald's, because, like, and just keeps coming back to it. It would be amazing. I'd give him the round just for creativity alone. Like, Daylight again also could have easily got product placement deals, like, easily, probably.
Squarespace or something like that. Primitive Bullets, that's archery, is...
I mean, that's one of my favourite things.
That's one of your most famous bars, I think.
Because it's just like, I'm sorry to get gas, but you have to realise at this point in time, I've forgotten everything I've said. So when you say it, I'm remembering it, yeah? And, yeah, you just write something sometimes and you go, yeah. You know, like in Deadpool where he's like, good one, and he just turns to the camera and he's like, it was like, you just know sometimes. You can't do it. It's not a checkmate move, yeah, but you're moving forward in that round, and if you can get something across to the crowd, as simple as that, yeah, but also it just makes perfect sense. Like, that's all I ever write for, you know, like a lot of battles, and that's what happens when you go on, like, longer and longer. A lot of battles end up just being a lot of filler around one or two lines that you really fucking love, like that, like, and then the rest of them are just like, well, you know, I would have just spat these 4 bars and kind of called it a day and stuff, but it is what it's like. I miss those, like, I wish I was in the 60-second era. I think that would have been, like, a perfect time for me, because that's just where I love those. Like, and again, it's in a line, isn't it? It's not too heavy. It's not been built up to or whatever. It's just snapped, like, so that's my favorite thing. And I think, like, that's something that's, like, quite heavily missed and overlooked, like, especially as we moved on in this era into more schemes and wordplay heavy, and, like, you know, the performance element really did evolve into people sort of being like, you know, look how long I can keep this. Like, you can do it where it's like something like when Soul performs and it's great, but then before we got to something like that, there was a lot of, like, experimental, like, I'm just going to play with momentum and or play with a scheme, and, like, you know what I mean? And I always just, like, if you can just end something, you know, why waste 100 bullets in it? That's the whole fucking point of the battle. Why would you waste 100 bullets? Like, you only need 1 to kill somebody, right? So why would you need 100? That's the point. Like, so yeah, that's how I like to write. Sorry, I went off into a tangent there, but I forgot about that, bruv. It's great. Yeah. But that's the ethos behind my writing again. Like, that's just how it is. Like, that's...
It's like you have to remind us that you're black when rhyming to cover up that man you're hiding, but even the darkest night can be split and cracked from lightning. Every round, you remind us of our torn past as slaves, as if you're solely responsible for harboring all of our pain. If so, your last battle left our forefathers ashamed, because you got beat when the white man gave you arcane.
And that's why I love someone like I think Kruger's just great at that, like so great at that, yeah. And that's why I love Kruger versus English is again just like just punchline battles. Like that was a good battle, man.
I mean, Kruger's Lazy EP, just going on a tangent again, like one of my favourite albums, low key, like outside of like battle rap. It's just like
and everything Kruger, like there was so much that Kruger
is a genius. Like, I think like, everyone
all of his visual stuff as well. Yeah, he's just done so much. Like I fucking hope that he does more of it. Like I really fucking.
Kruger needs an exhibition at the fucking Met.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's just it's crazy. I remember that Censor just said that one day. He's just like people just don't get about Kruger, but he's a fucking genius. Like he's just fucking genius. Like, and he's just like he is. Like there's no denying it. Like the way he puts things together is mad. I see him do it, and this is the thing moving on later in life. Like you think you already know him like that, but then when you see him in like a professional environment where there's a team that turns and works around the clock to get one fucking documentary out on Netflix, and this dude has taken 40 to 100 hours and flipped it round into a documentary, 30-minute version, a 10-minute version, a social cut, all of the different cuts of it in a fucking week. In a week. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, not like a production team. He is the entire production team. Like, it's insane. Like, it's actually insane. Like, and when he puts his mind to, like, I remember I kept seeing him after work, and I'm like, yo, what you been working on? And it was one of the videos he dropped not too long ago, and he worked on it for like 14 weeks after work to get it done. And it's just like every visual is crazy in it. Like, it's mad. And then he wrote the entire track behind it as well. Like, on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, we adore Kruger here at Battle Rap Resume, and we will be doing soon the show that I've said before, exploring Kruger 7, going through his YouTube channel, a little video breakdown. But Bulletz' second is also crazy. No Disguise, in No Disguise. Chum tackled in a box, debating your lines, reeled them in.
Yeah, I mean,
so Bulletz.
Because when he does it right, he does it so right. Like...
The football scheme.
Football. Great football scheme.
And her son.
Yeah.
Better check yourself.
Yeah, better check yourself.
Missing Eto. I only got that like later on when I got more into football. It's like, oh yeah, Eto's a footballer.
Yeah, missing Eto. Like,
Eto. Breath of Lies. But you win this battle. It's maybe again not the hipster opinion perhaps, but I think you do outperforming, and he does suffer a catastrophic choke in the third, Bulletz.
I know, and he didn't have another round to just say, "Oh, that was the joke" or anything. So it was just unfortunate. Like, it's just, and like, do you know the worst thing? Like, it's not the worst thing because at the same time, it's like, yo, you should have just turned up and like not did anything. But like, a lot of my best things have just been like in the moment, innit? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just that reply was better than pretty much anything I did in that battle. That won me the battle, and a lot of people like just outright disrespect is always going to win a battle, right? So when someone's choking and you don't give a fuck about it, it just played out so perfectly, to kind of seal the deal at the end of it.
I mean, it became a T-shirt, right?
Fucking did. Sold all those T-shirts, which was cool. That's really cool. Like,
it really is, yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I appreciate that, man. No. Rhyme Square, man. Like, that's the unfortunate thing. It was a Rhyme Square T-shirt, special edition.
Right.
And they're not around anymore. Rest in peace, Rhyme Square, man. That's great clothing in the heyday of Don't Flop.
But again, you're tearing through like your first real international ever, and you claim the scalp there in a very famous battle. People love this battle, myself included. This came out
one of the highest viewed ones as well, like out of the battles I've done, which is cool.
Yeah. Almost 250k at the moment. It came out in late December 2012.
I mean, that's years. That's not that good, but still good at the same time for battling. Fucking great.
Yeah. Timeless. I think really rewatchable. The next stack of battles we get onto is you and the man Cystic. Now, I'm just asking because someone in the live chat has asked, and I'm curious myself. Do you guys still like rap? Do you guys still hang out, or?
I have not seen Cystic in ages. There's a lot of people, yeah, in my life, yeah, and this is just the realest fucking thing, and it's just like, it's unfortunate, yeah, but there's only so much times you can holler someone, innit?
Right.
Like, there's only so much times you can extend, like, being like, yo, we should chill today, like, or da-da-da-da-da, and people get busy, and it's funny, like, because it's a lot, it comes a lot more with, like, you know, growing up and etc., but, like, literally, I don't know what the fuck it is about it, but just man just disappeared, bruv. Man disappeared, like, which is kind of sad, but
it is, man. I would love to talk to him. I mean, Cystic, if you're listening,
yeah, if you're out there, bruv, like, do you know what I mean?
Divine Rights. I mean, how did it start with you guys? Because you sort of came into battling together. I guess he came a little bit later, didn't he?
Yeah, so, like, when I was doing whatever I was doing in school and blah blah and, like, making tracks and all of this kind of stuff, he was making beats and whatever, and the girl was seeing's best friend's little brother at the time, so obviously they're like, oh, can you, like, help him out and so on and so forth, and I did. But I fucking, like, you know, he's one of those people that just, like, genuinely, like, you just click with some people, innit? Like, always click, and it's just like, we just, like, same style of music, same style of production, anything that we were working on, like, it was just always just easy, like, to just get shit done and stuff. But I honestly think, yeah, like, the pressure and shit, not the pressure, but, like, you know, going through Don't Flop, like, and doing those 2-on-2s and shit, it was tough, bruv. It's fucking, like, it's hard to work with someone, like, to that level and get it all done, and you fucking, like, I just remember, like, still practicing on the day of and all of this kind of stuff. And a lot of people, like, a lot of fucking people in 2-on-2s will tell you there's always one person that ends up, like, in each battle writing more or coming up with more and fucking having to coordinate it a bit more and so on and so forth and stuff like that. And then I think, I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know, bruv. Like, it's really difficult, innit? Because I get busy. Like, it's not like I get busy, but I'm like, yo, come chill, innit? Like, we're here, da-da-da-da-da. Like, but I just honestly think the way that Don't Flop went and everything just got mad and we just didn't link up for fucking ages, and then he just wasn't really part of it anymore. I think that just all kind of burnt it out as a friendship. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. I'd love to ask him one day, but I just leave people, like, to the time you meet him again, because there's loads of people that you have like that in life, and then you meet them back and you're friends again. Like, do you know what I mean? So It's like, I don't really worry too much about that at the same time, but it's just like, yo, I would love to know one day, because there was the third member as well, wasn't it? Elliot, Dirty Stans, he made all the beats and stuff, but he also rapped and stuff. Great producer. Worked with a fair few people, like, over his time and stuff, but he just went off to uni at that time, and then now he works at Social Chain and stuff, so he's done really well for himself. But yeah, he just really focused down on this profession, stopped making beats and so on and so forth. The band fell apart.
So, you know, you and Cystic then, I mean, I'm just interested in the origin, really, to build up to these battles, especially this 2-on-2 tournament that you mentioned in 2013, when you guys got to the fucking final. Like, honestly, how would you assess you and him as a team?
Shaky, not at our best, and we are fucking. Here's the thing, yeah, we're lucky to have got into the final, right? And that's just honesty, innit? Like, we've had some shaky performances, but at the same time, our path has been, like, great duos. Like, you know, we came across some great duos.
Hell yeah.
I would have, like, who was on the opposite side of the tree and stuff? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. But, like, you know,
Lefty like, and Big J.
First battle, Big J and Lefty. Yeah. Second battle, Chris Lees and Yunan.
Yep.
Third battle, C and Cracker. On the other side of things, you got Zen and Dialect that, at the time, were both great, but again, easier to beat. Like, there's definite easier ways to beat with our style and stuff. You know, it's harder to beat a pair of jokers like Big J and Lefty. It's harder to beat a pair of performers like Yunan and Chris Lees. Like, we've got this, like, looking at it as a strategic thing. So we're already, like, I'm not saying we're at a disadvantage. You should always go in like you're trying to win and stuff. But, like, shaky, we're not practicing enough. We're not linking up enough to get it written. Like, whatever. We're lucky enough to get in there. And then the final, it's just, this is that thing where it's like, you know, where some things work against you. Like, so because of everything that had gone well for me in the previous tournament, let alone the fact that C Major's been actively progressing and Cracker's a good like partner for him, like, and they work well, right? But at the same time, as quote unquote, you want to call it like, you know, popularity, people that are like, yeah, Bam's dope, like, he can beat you in a technical level, yeah. Like I said to you, a lot of people aren't happy with the fact that I beat C, and all of these people, even Impact people, thought I lost to, all of this kind of stuff, yeah. So I love to look at narratives. People want me to lose this tournament because, especially when you go into this, you go, they shouldn't have got past Big J and Lefty, they shouldn't have got past Crystalis and Yunnan, and the fucking figurehead of that situation, it's not Cystic, it's me, because I'm the winner of the previous, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So all they had to do, if it's chess or whatever, is fucking topple the king in that situation. Like, if they take me out of the game, it doesn't really matter what they have to say about Cystic. They can literally just destroy me and go, oh, and we forgot you were here, Cystic, and then that works as well as the disrespect or whatever. Because at this point in time, people aren't happy with the fact that I've moved into staff. They think the fact that I'm winning battles is because I'm a staff member. Like, do you know what I mean? There's all of this fucking stupid narrative. Like, the thing that I do not miss, and I've said it before, is just like, you know, the online culture behind battling. Everyone wants to get their opinion across. Everyone has a fucking, like, everything's a conspiracy to these people a lot of the time. Like, you know, like, it is like, it's so easy for people to get so caught up in all of this stuff. So we're going into this battle already, not thinking that we're going to lose, but I'm like, fucking tough gig, right? And then worse, they used Bagnall against me. My best friend, bruv. That's it. They've thrown the fucking, like, they've divided and conquered on all forms. You know, like, great stuff. But yeah, hold on, right? Because this is why I like the things that I write about someone or whatever going into a battle. Yeah, I do it for a reason. C Major, everything I said about him, 100% true at this point in time. He's not with his girl. He's not on religion. He's drinking, etc., etc. So everything I put across, technically, absolutely predicted his lifestyle. Everything he said and won on, a lie. So in life, I've won. If you think about it.
And that's what I'm going to hold on. Crowd reaction you haven't, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, they sort of won very early on in that battle, and it was, you know, chemistry meets, you know, inert matter, and it was a little bit of a disappointing squib there, and they took it the 3K. Still, you guys were in the final, and you never teamed up again, so was there any desire there later years? Don't flop?
No, like we said, the 2-on-2, it's easier, yeah, for Cystic to write in the style that he does and for me to write in the style that I do. Yeah. Then fucking just go through that again. You know? Like, it's the simplest way to put it. Like, 2-on-2s are not that fucking enjoyable. Like, a lot of the time, unless you get it really down and you have a great performance and it really bounces. But do you know what's worse than practicing and going through shit all over the time, like in your head on your own, doing it with someone else? Do you know how fucking boring that gets? Like, you know, it's bad enough when you're just in your room going fucking nuts, being like, I have to learn this by saying this over and over because that's how you think you're going to memorize shit. But you know how you memorize shit? Go to sleep, bruv. Go to sleep. Like, get rest. Go over it enough times, you'll be fine. Like, but literally, since Ilmac told me that he can practice in his sleep, it changed my whole way of thinking about fucking memorization, and it really helped out in it. So, yeah, I just remember, like, because he stayed over at that event, right, when we did that thing. He's doing bars in his sleep, bro. Like, what the fuck? Like, this guy's talking to himself in his sleep, or not, or just not fully like asleep and just in the consciousness of like just memorizing, but trying to rest and shit. I don't know. Crazy technique, like. Fucking works out though. Look how good he is.
And you know, you were through the looking glass at this point. You were Don't Flop staff. It gets mentioned in the 2-on-2 battles and such like that. And obviously wearing the t-shirt of 4th birthday weekend. Like, you know, how was that being on the other side of the machine?
Good at that point in time. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, things are fine. It's not tough, yeah, but I always like my biggest struggle, I think, being on the staff team was kind of like not being the union for MCs, but because I'm battling, I'm always looking at things from a perspective kind of like how that, like if I was a battler, like, you know, like, because there's a lot of times where it'd be like, you know, so-and-so wants us to post this tune, and it's like, oh, we're not going to post it, it's whack. It's like, why don't we just fucking post this shit? Why are we not promoting our artists regardless? Like, I know we need to keep a certain image, but not everything's going to be golden. And the other appeal is, like, to a lot of people, like, something that maybe, like, it may be whack or whatever, yeah? But there's a little fan base for them. And that's what they're there for, innit? So why is it such a, like, you know, that's my sort of argument that I'm having a lot of the time, just in general with the way that I'm thinking about things. But generally, things are smooth, and like, you know, I get to run my own events and stuff, so I can put on who I want to do and like kind of work how I want to do it. So like things were all right at this point in time, you know, wasn't so bad. But that's kind of how I viewed it.
And you know, at this point, there were giant events regularly. 5th birthday drops. You versus Bender, obviously. Rest in peace, Bender. Tragic
100%.
loss.
Like, I mean, that battle was like. I hate that battle. Like, to watch. I love his performance. I hate my performance in it. I think I switched my style up like every round, which was really weird. It's like 3 different performances, which is like, I like things being more like just one way now, you know. But like,
I ain't losing ever, no question who is better when his delivery's worse than how Royal Mail try and move my letters. See, I don't think the Futurama name you've chosen is right. You're more closer to Fry. Could you rap like someone that's been frozen in time? See, you claim that alcoholism is a known condition. You should see the way this bloke be living. Drunk or sober, he doesn't know the difference. He's at a friend's house, goes to kitchen, rolls in, rolls out, claims it's prohibition when bottles start going missing. Really stealing drinks like Mo from Simpson when Homer's with him.
that was like just a nightmare to write for, innit? Like, how do you write for Bender? How do you fucking, like, how do you do it? Like, how do you even approach that battle? That's why I went with some joke shit and whatever, like, by the end of it. And some, like, just mild reverse racism, where I implied that you're racist, but really I've sat there and somehow written some racist shit, so doesn't that technically mean that I'm racist? Like,
Word to head ice.
Like, so, you know, that's, I don't really like that battle too much, but it is a fun battle.
I mean Bender's incredible in this battle.
He's amazing, and that's him doing another battle that same weekend.
Yeah, he battled the day before. He battled Aaron Kruger. Yeah,
Really
most
great
overrated motherfucker that no one's ever heard of. He calls you.
Yeah, I know. Great. Like, you blew your shot before you took it. I think again, that's like, you know what I was saying about I just love lines, like, which are just just there, isn't it? It's everything to get. It's right there for you, like, just And then the fact, like, and he's one of those writers that can go from that into just a crazy, like, massively built up scheme, or just hit you with just a one shot. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Toss your mixtape in the shitter. Call me Skinny Black, which is a dope reference to Hustle and Flow.
Fuck yeah, he's fucking.
Yeah,
he
that was a really
unusual
one. Yeah, love that. Bowski hopping a bench is also invoked as being about as likely as you beating him, escape from God. And the whole 82nd Airborne, never be king like the 2nd Airborne, like.
Yeah, that was dope.
Madness, absolute madness. But you kick it on the first. I think this is a big crowd for you.
It was like a 1,000-person crowd. That was like, again, massive event.
Yeah, I was there for the first day, not for this day. Ginormous event. I mean, not seen a Bender this big on stage like Alan Carr. It's big.
Oh yeah, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's relevant. Like, he was popping off at that point in time. He was on TV then.
Yeah. You talk about Bender, you know, having the Futurama name. He's more like Fry, someone who's been frozen through time. That's pretty dope.
That's all right. I like Futurama. There we go. I'm trying to think, why the fuck did I write? Like, yeah, all right, sick. What else did I say?
You talked about him eating at night and no longer being able to fuck in their favourite positions. You know, you're not the only one feeling the weight of addiction. And,
I like that. Again, I like that kind of shit. All right, yeah, cool. But maybe I'd like said some stuff, but he still destroyed me.
Yeah, I mean, he does a big UK comedy scheme in the second, and he's not choking. Just a moment of silence for Bam's career.
Yeah, damn.
It's a more compact, portable Bender, if you will. But he's still absolutely incredible.
So this is Bender with another battle on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. And I mean, we still get the fucked up head problems like Hunter S. Thompson, like in the third, like
that's
vintage.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, shit. I mean, that's like, you know, people quote that all the fucking time. So,
and then you counter it with the fact that Bender's sister loves black guys.
I mean, come on, bro, you got to work with what you got. Like, narrative, it worked. It got some reactions. Hilarious. Plus, I got to say ice on stage, which, again, you know, like I said, like, some rounds are just leading up to certain things. I just wanted to say ice on stage, so like that worked out for me. But do you know the maddest thing? Bender will still, like, when he spoke at that battle, he's like, "Yo, that time Bam burned me," and you're like, "What are you talking about, bruv? Like, literally, what are you talking about?" Like, just so fucking humble. Like, it's crazy, man.
You were really good in this one, though, man. This is an underviewed Watch.
Thanks, appreciate it. That's one of the few. I have a few battles, like, obviously the Briggzy battle is one that's just like, it's there, and
battle.
you put in. There's 2 brackets, and it went well or it didn't, and that did not go well. And I felt like the Bender one, I felt like I didn't do him justice enough. When I did it, I was like, yo, this guy is amazing, and I was like, I shouldn't have went jokes. I should have tried to fucking outbar him and actually rap for once and shit. But then I was like, fuck it, is what it is.
And next up was you versus Mr. E, which, if I remember, was kind of his prize, was it, for winning the top 8?
See, I love that. That's like, again, see what I was telling you about narrative? How great is it that the winner of the first tournament, that's like some Karate Kid shit, bro. Now I get to be the final boss in the 3rd tournament, which was great. And Mr. E, again, is one of those people that, like, some battlers you can look at and you go, I know exactly what I'm going to do. Like, I know exactly how I'm going to approach this and stuff. And he's one of those people I was just like, okay. And the Bender battle, for me, felt a bit lifeless. Like, I had some good stuff in there, but it felt like, hold up. That's an alarm. But it felt like kind of lifeless. Like, I'm not using that stage to any sort of advantage in that situation, And I was back in the pit, which... For me, the pit is just, and for a lot of people, it's home, innit? Like, I love that. Like, it's that familiar feeling that you've always been in when it comes to insulting people or stuff, like in a big fucking rowdy school situation or whatever. Like, where just everyone's just been like, fuck you, did it, and it all kicks off. Like, that feeling fuels battles. Like, not the anger or whatever, but that adrenaline burst, like, it's the same. It's so reminiscent, So it's like mini Coliseum vibes, innit, the pit. And Mr. E is just someone I'm like, I'm going to have fun, because a few people had said previously, like, oh, my performance wasn't good, and I finally felt it, And did the Briggzy battle happen after that? Because that's weird, isn't it? Like, the Briggzy battle, I didn't perform in again, but in the Mr. E battle, I was really, like, animated and shit.
Yeah, Briggzy battle's much later, right?
And I should have taken kept that same mentality when I went into the Briggzy battle. But, yeah, in that Mr. E one, I'm just like, let's fucking have fun with this, like.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of was the epitome of that. I don't want to say doldrums, but I think a lot of people felt that early 2014 Don't Flop, Raise the Bar tour was starting to be a thing or whatever, and they weren't these giant marquee events, and wasn't hosting as well. Furtz is on the front there with Michael Parkinson, etc. But going through then to the Briggzy battle by some Briggs, which only has like 34,000 views. In my head, it's like a really known battle. Like, it's
not. That's the thing, though. It's not, because I lost, so people deleted it from their memory, which is a good thing. 34 views, like 34,000 views. Please let it be 20. Let it be 10. Delete the battle.
I mean, are your crew a bunch of retards?
I mean, you can't say that in this day and age, can you? Can't. You can't just approach a man and ask him that. So, like, do you know what I mean? For both of our futures in, like, marketing and branding, delete that battle, please, if you're listening. Like, not because I fucking shit the bed, but, like, because, it's the right thing to do. For Briggzy's sake. But yeah, no, honestly, I've said it once and I say it again. I turned up to Manchester thinking that people knew that Briggzy was whack. Like, I don't know what battles they'd been watching before this, but the battles I'd been watching, I was like, how the hell is this guy going to win this? Like, I'm just going to turn up and call him a ginger flex explicit. Job done. Like, job was not done. Home crowd advantage. I forgot. The thing about Manchester is this community. In London, no one gives a shit about you. In Manchester, if you're from Manchester and you're battling a guy that's not from Manchester, guess who they're cheering for? The guy from Manchester, bruv. I didn't know this. I thought it was going to be a nice fucking biased, like, non-biased crowd and shit. The other side of it was, like, it was a dead, like, it was a battle that no one gave a fuck about. Like, it was in with a bunch of battles that were like, yo, can we watch Shotty versus Tony D now, please? We paid money to see that battle.
There was only like 5 battles on the card.
And there was only 5. That's what I mean. Underwhelming though. Like, people were just like not here to hear no shit. Like, they were here to see they wanted to see a battle, they paid for a battle. What a lot of people understood was a battle at that point in time probably was like an intro, like by Shotty versus Arsenal and stuff. They wanted to see aggression and stuff. I turned up being like, yo, it's chill. I got this. This guy's a dickhead. Wasn't enough, Lesson learned. He came out, arguably not better bars, but great performance. I'd never seen him. Like a little pitbull terrier, like at my knees. He's like, like
his energy is mad in it.
It's mad, like so mad. So yeah, like, but you learn things like this. And then from that, you get the fire to go into like the dialect battle, and you're like, okay, people like flows and shit, like people like actual hype and shit. I'm a perform this time. I pop out of nowhere in that third round, like literally out of thin air, like the start of it. Like I'm not on screen, and then I suddenly appear from the bottom. Like I was ready to perform that day, you know. So like it taught me a lot, that Briggzy battle, and I'm happy I took it. But at the same time, no one likes watching. I don't even like watching good performances back, let alone the ones that are terrible.
Look, Briggs delivers in it. Last thing you'll see will be that white face come in, a porn scene with Jason Voorhees.
Wow, that's that's going on bad bars. That's,
yeah.
What I'm saying. They couldn't hear it. They could just see this little angry guy. They were so happy about it. Like it was mad.
But, I mean, you mentioned Bad Bars. So this was around by this time. I think it was like early 2014. And, you know, where did that come from? Obviously a cult show, and, you know, very glad it's coming back.
So Bad Bars is 100% Liam's idea, and it's something that he wanted to do for a while. And it spawned from, like, you know, at this point in time, we're in YouTube. I think this is heavily like the origin to it. Like you have to double check with him. But because we're always stopping stuff and being like, how terrible is that? Like, because we're editing it and cutting it bar for bar. So you're not just watching it one time over. You're literally dissecting every fucking battle you're watching. So if it's bad, you hear it like 3 or 4 times over, and you really start to think about it. You know, you're really like, actually, how ridiculous is some of the stuff these people are saying? And I think with that same vein, Bags was like, there's something in this, you know? And he wanted to do it. Originally, it was just going to be him to camera, kind of, you know. We wanted to go for that sort of like, you know, like dude in an armchair vibe. Like you get like classic Tales or whatever, but obviously we didn't have no set like that, so on and so forth. But then when it came to shooting and stuff, he didn't really want to do it on his own because he hadn't really done much shit on camera, which is under, like in front of camera at this point in time. And I'm like, I fucking just do it with you because it would be fun, like to bounce it off or whatever, innit? Like, and he's like, alright, cool. Like, and that's how we got the first, like that was how the first episode happened. Like, and that's just how, you know, it really went in. And I think a big part of it, like in all honesty, now that I remember the first episode, is we wanted to tell people that Bleak was shit because he was shit,
right? And
for some reason he still had like Bleak's one of those people that you see all of the time now, and this is no disrespect to anyone because it's a fact of life, and it's the way that battlers like use the internet now. You don't have to be great in battles, but if you can keep an online persona going, people will fuck with your battles and stuff. Right? It's as simple as that. Yeah. I don't know why, but it literally is. Like, as long as you can be in the forums and be active and make it look like you're really best friends with everyone and hang in the right circles and stuff, people fuck with what you're doing in a battle. Even if you're Bleak, right? Even if this dude is like threatening women and so on, so you know, all of this stuff that came to light later on, right? At this point in time, we're like, this guy's a piece of shit and he's terrible. Let's fucking do the compilation. You know, let's put the compilation out. Like, and it came out. Like, and everyone loved it because it was terrible and it was a great show. Like, you know, like, and it's what a lot of people have been thinking because, like we said, you know, from that golden tryout day, that when everything started to feel like it was magically changing, we also evolved into, well, as big as UK battling got, and we tied in with more internationals, tropes and stuff, people was viewing, they didn't just watch Don't Flop battles or like old school grind time, that were quite linked in the way that you delivered and battled, and that's why it was a lot easier to quote unquote judge a battle like at the start, like because everyone was, you know, even though they're all unique, it was still kind of like punchline rapping, and it wasn't about like, oh well, he did a scheme where he talked about 5 different Coke like brands of like owned by the Coke company and blah blah. Like none of that was happening. It was just fucking punchlines. So you might have had some wordplay in there, but the wordplay was kind of the punchline. You know, it wasn't all like a full 4 bars mix up and whatever. So we had all of these mixing coming in like from everywhere. Like, you know, people watching everything. Battle rap as a whole was booming. So people are watching everything and getting influences from everywhere else. And at the same time, with this new wave of a lot of new people coming in and emulating and trying stuff like that generally doesn't work too well unless you're really good at it, that's where you get like, you know, bad bars start coming like through massively, you know. And we had a lot more tryout events and stuff like that and a lot more newcomers at that time, so there was a lot more room for mistakes and there was a lot more like room for you to fuck up, like, because it was your first battle and it was like, you know, bad bars is just taking it out of context. Yeah, it might be bad, but you know what, your favorite Tony D has bad bars, you know. It is what it is. Like it just fucking happens. If you're writing 3 times 3-minute rounds, you're gonna get to a point where you say, that's not great, but fuck it, it will blend in. Like, you know, I don't really give a shit. Like, it is what it is. So like, it came about at the right time, I think, and it really hit on what a lot of people were thinking and feeling at that point in time, which was like, yeah, some of this is whack, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, the show.
It was additional content. Like I know we've done like a lot of the time, and this is what's kind of like sad for me now, that there's a massive push from all of the leagues to do additional content, but we're not seeing main content coming out. And this is from all of the leagues currently. Yeah. We're seeing people push to try and do more junket style, like, you know, like sociable kind of like things that they can push into like whatever algorithm or whatever caption they can clickbait it with, or so on and so forth, right? But what we're not seeing is at that point in time, yeah, Don't Flop had like things like Extra where we'd actually put like, you know, genuine attempts at new things out, and they had done things previously like the in-house tour, and there was like actual original content that did happen from time to time. But a lot of the like additional content would just be interviews with Steph and like you know, like all of the stuff that King of the Dot still just does as their bread and butter that you need to do because that's how you package an event properly. Like that's kind of died out quite heavily now, but what you do have is just a focus on all of these things that you're meant to do to kind of appeal to a general audience once you've got a big enough mass audience for them to share it outwards to a general audience. You know, there's too much of a focus on like how do we get this podcast around our like brand popping, or like how do we get our group popping for like our channel, or like all of these things, which is great. And yeah, you have to be on top of social media. It's the most important thing currently for any artist to get out there, any business, any blah 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 blah. But like, it's fucking, do you know what I mean? It's at a point now where it's like, actually, when we did Bad Bars, it was a very, very nice new piece of content, and it complemented the fact that everything else was coming out, right? You know, like you had a constant flow of battles, but guess what? On this Sunday, you get to watch Bad Bars or this extra thing that came out and stuff. But now it's just literally like, it's very different now. You know, it's kind of weird, like the focus shift and stuff. But
Bad Bars travelled to a huge extent. That's what's impressive about it. We have the Amsterdam edition, the USA edition, industry tryout for Loco. Like, yep. I loved how you guys were franchising it out with the league.
I mean, that's all like, that's Bag's vision, and that's what you're meant to do. Like, you know, that's how you put something together to market it well. Like, and there's 8 episodes and they're all great. So it's just, honestly, really well done. And I'm glad to see, like, you know, I think like this, like BRR has been a great addition, you know, and it's great that, like, I love to see people outside of the, like, directly is a weird line in it when leagues and stuff start making content, because you always question, and it's with anyone, you always go like, are you doing this because you think it's going to work, like, or are you doing it like because you think this is the trend and this is the kind of thing that we need to do and stuff. But at this point in time, Don't Flop didn't have to worry about like any of that, so all of the content and stuff that was made was never from a point of, like, I don't want to say like a rush to get it out or to compete with anything, but it was just, everything that came out was pure, like, you know, like, it was just, it is what it is. And like Bad Bars was a great format, and Liam did really well taking it to include like great guests across the whole thing. So yeah, it was a really good success, man. He did really well with it. And the return,
I mean, the return, yeah. Where can people see the return?
This is discussed, like, I think we're going to put it out on Bad Company, the YouTube itself. We're going to have like social cuts. There's a couple other like things that we're working on that relate to it, but that just fall into it. Like, we had, like, in the first one we've done, like, there's a whole bunch just around Dave, so I've just cut that out just for like a Bad Bars review of Dave's album, because it works on its own, like, you know, but it's still the same content. But the other side of that is we started to do the podcast, so we're going to keep it on the Bad Company where we posted the original podcast, because it makes sense to put out Bad Bars. But then obviously if you've got a guest in, why not film the podcast afterwards and have a good chat? So we're going to have them both coming out on there. I think the social cuts will come out on my page, just because my page has now hit 10k, which is like decent, you know, Facebook algorithm, people complain about it, whatever, but that's a good platform now to put out Bad Bars to a bigger audience, like in a more general audience, which things like the Dave thing will work with. But, you know, me and Bags aren't in this realm where it's just 100% battle rap for us anymore. You know, like, it hasn't been for a long, long time. So as much as we're still going to go over battles and stuff, it is fun to look at like a genre of music or a period in time in hip hop and like look at the Bad Bars there, as much as it is to focus on battles and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be fun to experiment and see what we can do with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you ever want to do a poetry Bad Bars, I'm definitely.
This is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So we like, definitely want to work in like some new ways of approaching it and stuff, as well as
lyrics, even just yeah.
That's what I mean. There's so much things. Like, what's that song, My Sharona? He says some questionable things in that
Knack,
song. Yeah, man, some really weird things. Like, he always gets it up for the touch of a younger or something like that. I don't know, man.
Right.
Like, it's not even just bad. It's like, how didn't he get arrested? Like, so yeah, like it was a great point in time to do it, and it really fucking came out. Like,
and another great point in time was the Crib Clashes on Tim Westwood TV. You battled
that was perfect timing as well.
Loads of great battles went down on this card. C Major versus Natural, Raptor versus Impact. Lots of other good ones I can't really remember.
And I think that was before the Dialect battle.
Oh, it was. Yeah. So how did this come about? You guys, all the Don't Flop battlers going around.
Dots had the hookup. Westwood had seen some of the things Dots was doing, knew about battling and so on and so forth. Wanted to get involved, wanted to host, but didn't want to say it all up, like, because he didn't know battlers and stuff, so he put it on Dots. The thing is, there should have been, like, more, but it just never happened. Like, and that's not like Westwood wasn't like, I don't want to do this or anything. It just kind of seemed like they just didn't put it together. And I remember at a point in time, Dots was sort of like, oh, you should sort it out, but he never made the, like, exchange for me to do that or anything. So, unfortunately, it didn't actually go any further than that. But it would have been great as a series because, again, that was such good exposure for our MC, the battlers for once. Like, it wasn't like Westwood could have done that with any MCs he wanted in the country, like pretty much, because it was on beat. It wasn't like just set to battling, So, yeah, he just took a risk and got involved. And he's one of the like a lot of people don't really like Tim Westwood. I don't know if it's because they call him a beg or because he's an old guy and he is kind of pervy and stuff. Fair enough. But I met him. And he is a really nice guy, and he offered us tea and biscuits, which I didn't think he was going to do. He's like, come in, do you want some tea? I was like, oh shit, tea from Tim Westwood, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you're like, are you gonna you don't say you're gonna make it, and someone's like, yeah, obviously I'd like a tea. I don't drink tea, but I wanted one because it was Tim Westwood's tea. But he's like, all right, cool, my boy Adnan will make that right now. It's just like, all right, fair enough. And then the best thing that happened on that whole shoot was he did one of the intros. It stopped recording. No one was saying anything, and he said to himself, "Smash that!" And just positive mantra. Reinforcement. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Amazing. Everyone just sort of looked at each other like, "Okay, fair enough." It was great. But yeah, those battles were really good.
Yeah,
good way of doing the voting system, voting the thing. But that's what I mean. I feel like there was meant to be a part 2, right? Because why did they do the voting in the comments and all of that kind of stuff if they weren't going to announce them when they did the second episode or something with new MCs? I don't know. So yeah, unfortunate.
You versus Dialect next, which hugely viewed battle, almost at 220,000.
Yeah.
You need practice, Donny. Said your back but ain't catching bodies. Why? Because you got rap like eyes. Couldn't even match him properly. Your accent's funny. When you rap, it's like bruv. I didn't catch that story. We can take it a cappella or we take it on beat. I don't really think that you want because you're from Leeds. You want beat to drop these punches on a long reach. I want peace. Then when you want P, you want to swap nicks. Want a hot P? That is not me. I ain't your E and I'm not T. And I ain't you and I ain't you. Not E just ain't what it was, G. How can you act like you repped it on Block League? Let's get it rolling then. Take it in league that he's been in and break down because he got smoked by opium.
This is a huge surprise. Mentioned your fur before, which is sensational altogether. But going into the Lion's Den with Dialect, I mean, he is one of the greatest unbeat in Don't Flop history, right?
I mean, he is. Yeah. But it's just I always look at things like if people are beatable or not, innit? It's as simple as that. You don't you've got to find your angles and just go for them and stuff. And it's as much as my third round surprised people and stuff, and a lot of people say that I lost the other 2 rounds, my first 2 rounds were still good. I still rapped them well, and I still had some really good. Again, a lot of my punchlines were one line. I was hitting in the same multi, fucking one line punchline. Yeah, he had swag, and he said some your misses dirty and all of this, shit that's gonna work and get reaction and stuff. But I fought in those first 2 rounds. It didn't just come down to the the third round heavily. If I had got whitewashed, it wouldn't have just been down. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have just come down to a final thing. I think just the surprise element shocked a lot of people. It's as simple as that. People weren't expecting it. Like I've said to you before, I'm a big fan of narratives and stuff, innit? You got someone like Dialect, yeah, established grime MC. You got someone like me in people's eyes, terrible at acapella. How can I even do a grime battle? Like, they don't know, like I said, that I'd done the I've been rapping like blah, blah, blah for however many years. They didn't realize, because all they could see is like a few divine rights things or whatever, and like my drops or whatever come out, it's all hip hop. Like they don't assume I can do it. So element of surprise like worked out quite well, you know, that narrative again, like, oh shit, like didn't see this coming. He got a reload in 2 bars. Fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it just played to my advantage. Like, and that's like something that is, you know, you have to look at how you're writing a battle. You know, you're like, the third, I have to do this. Like, you know, I have to do something magical here. Like, and it was honestly one of the most therapeutic things to write. Like, because you know, the Westwood battles are great. The Briggzy battle, the only reason I took the Briggzy battle is because I didn't make it onto the birthday card with an international, which I was told I was getting, and I didn't. And I'm just like, all right, cool, it is what it is. Like, do you know what I mean? So I fucking went on the next biggest card, and then I had to, like, just took Briggzy, done. Wasn't even originally going to be on the card, like, fucking took it in the end, because, like, you know, that's that thing I'm talking about, like, you know, you want that hit back, innit? You want to have another good performance and stuff, like, so. And you want to do it on a big card, like, because always big cards are fun, like, and they have been good for me. And the other thing is, I'm like, yo, I've been on every birthday before this. How come I'm not on this one? Like, it's not like I haven't been active or doing shit. I've still been active and still, like, it's not like I've got whack or anything. You know what I mean? Is what it is. And I think all of that sort of played into my performance with Briggzy. So that learning that you need to perform whatever, that mind state. I've got to do this now. I asked for Dialect because I needed someone that was actually going to challenge me. I couldn't go into a battle again where I battle someone like Briggzy, and in my mind, I'm like, I'm just going to walk this, you know? Because that was fucking arrogant and stupid. I needed someone that I felt like the only time you do, like, you know, when your back's against the wall, you really learn what the fuck you can do in it. Like, it is what it is. So I asked for that battle because I thought it would work well. And it did work well. I knew I could rap. Dialect fucking can rap amazingly. Like, it came out, like, really well. Like, really fucking well. So that is what it is.
And you jump back, you know, pretty soon after to the Bruce C battle, which was your final record. I mean,
which was a fun battle.
Yeah, a really good battle as well.
Really fun battle. Brucey's doing amazing now as well.
Yeah, like, huge, right? His crud, like, their gigs are massive.
Yeah, he's killing it, man. Shout out Brucey.
Yeah.
Like, I got a Dragon Ball Z bar off in that battle, which is like, you know, like I said, there's some things that I just like, like, that's my, all I cared about is I wrote a Dragon Ball Z bar and pulled it off and got to do a fucking fake Kamehameha on a stage. Like, I'm a child at heart in times like that, innit? Like, that's all that mattered to me. I don't care who won. Like, do you know what I mean? Fucking Kamehameha, bruv.
And we don't need to get into, like, the messy details or whatever, but obviously you were to leave Don't Flop a little while after.
Yeah, right. But one thing, because obviously at the time when we did our battle rap resume, it was around the time I had sort of left and stuff, and I was feeling real hostile, and I made a decision not to sort of talk about it, and I'm still not going to talk about it. But one thing I will say in response, because I've listened to Er's thing, him talking about he fucking rates that, like, my character's gone so far now, blah blah blah, because I'm like fucking sad in reality. Do you ever think in life, bruv, everyone else I fucking chill with, I'm a fucking having fun. Like, there's a reason that when you're around certain people, you're in a certain fucking mood, innit? Like, it is what it is. Like, it's not that, oh, bam, suddenly this thing. It's the same guy that told me after he fucking did a talk at, like, a uni thing, and I said, I'd love to go back and talk at, like, my school or whatever. He's like, don't really think you could talk about you battle 100 bullets, no one would fucking care, Now I can fucking go talk about all the fucking shit I've done. Because you didn't see potential in me as a person, like, that's why I'm negative around certain people. I fucking hated that situation. After a while, do you know what I mean? It got to a point where, he's always going to have a memory of me being fucking moody because he was a fucking prick at that point in time. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's the only thing I want to fucking address, because the rest of it is what it is, But you got to understand, like, the only reason, and this is how we can segue into things like how I've gone, quote unquote, so far and what I've done, like, moving on from that and whatever, is because I moved into an environment with people around me that wanted to see the fucking best for me. Didn't want to make money off what we knew or blah, blah, blah. I wanted to make sure that their fucking thing worked out for them. They wanted the best for us at that point in time. It was a new company. Ridgeway was fucking massive up in that. Like, he was so integral to it getting to where it was and so on and so forth. He literally said to me, I'm going to get you all out of Don't Flop. Because he knew what a fucking prick the dude was as well. And he got us all out, bro. He got all of us fucking jobs there. Like, how fucking sick is that? Like, Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you do for people that you fucking actually care about and want to work and see progress for. So the second I was in an environment like that, damn right I can fucking sit down with someone like Rock and have a fucking good time. Because my life is sick again. Life, like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing out of all of the fucking bullshit that I had to listen to in that entire 3-hour things that I want to address, because I'm on it now. I don't want to make 3 hours out of it. Just that, innit? Like, certain things happen because of the way you are to people. Like, that's it. Like, it is what it is. It's not a magical, oh, everyone suddenly turned into a prick. You have to look at what you did, innit, sometimes, and that's why things happen to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just really fucking ridiculous, man. And that's the only thing I wanted to address, just because it pissed me off. I don't want to be sick. I'm annoyed, yeah, but I'm a fucking fun guy, bruv, when I want to be.
You are.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had bare good times chilling out and stuff. It just really just annoyed me that he tried to say that happiness that I feel at my point in life where, like, I'm actually happy is a false thing, because I was sad, because I knew that Don't Flop would go how it was going to go with his attitude, you know? Like, I'm empathetic. Like, I care about the people around me. I knew about all of the MCs that potentially would be strung out to dry, and fucking people like Callum that didn't have proper career options, but you're fucking paying them like £200 a day, or like, not a day, but fucking per month, or whatever the fucking ridiculous fee it was. Like, do you know what I mean? I cared about all of that. That's why I was sad at that point in time. But we moved forward and we got to do amazing things. Like, as sad as I am, as much as I always look back and go, I wish we could have helped Don't Flop, because I look at it now and it's really in a sad place. And that's not like a stab whatever. I look at it and I go, it has so much potential. You know, and I know from running a YouTube channel, what would you do if you had around 400,000 subscribers? You'd be having the fucking time of your life with it. You'd be making content that you're happy about. You'd be proud to put it out all of the time. Like, you wouldn't have let it die for a year or blah, 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 after claiming that you would never let that happen and that all of the people around you didn't need that. Like, you know what I mean? All of this shit, right? It just makes me fucking sad when I look at it like that. So I'm happy, as much as I really wanted to fucking stick around and say fucking battle rap or whatever the fuck it was. Like, I'm happy that my path went how it did, you know? It had to. Like, looking back on it all, it actually had to. Like, and I'm happy. But it's like, it still makes me a little bit sad looking at it all today, man. Like,
I understand.
Yeah, man.
Like, where you've gone to with, Unilad and beyond is just mind-blowing, really. Like, you know, you mentioned The Rock so casually there, and it's so true, really, because we've seen you with Salma Hayek and others, etc.
And you know the thing, like, is
how did that happen? How did you become the interview guy?
Literally, I just do everything. Like, I do as much as I can in it. So I'm always working. I'm doing this, that, and the other and stuff. And I get the opportunity where it's like, do you want to just go and interview the Gotham lot, because we know that you've been watching Gotham, like, and it's right up your street and stuff, and we need someone to go do it. I didn't know I was going to be on camera at this point in time. I'm just like, yeah, let's go do that and stuff. And it's just like, there's a few elements. Like, the way I dealt with it from start to finish was like a massive credit to me. And I didn't ask any, like, it was just literally, they just said, there's an opportunity with Gotham. Do you want to take it? And despite the fact that I was editing all these videos and doing whatever else my actual role was, I put the time aside to create a fun game, fucking dealt with all the PR situation, like everything like that, like start to finish project, edited it myself, done. It's out, right? And then they're like, oh yeah, like he's actually kind of cool at this, like yeah, like he did well, like and stuff. So they like give me a couple more, and then like my third one, like so it's the Gotham thing, then it's Doctor Strange, and then it was Fast and Furious with Scott Eastwood, and then that went really well, like even though it didn't perform really well on the page, but like he loved it. And like the thing is, there's like I said, there's a few things in play. The PR and the celebrities have to like enjoy what you're doing. It needs to perform well on like whatever. Plus you're working for Unilad, they really want to get you in. Like, you know what I mean? They want to have like some sort of reach or whatever. From that, doing that Scott Eastwood one, they're like, do you want to interview The Rock? Like, and I'm like, what do you mean? And like Ridgway's like, yo, like we've got time with the like a 20-minute slot with The Rock. And I'm like, and you want me to do it? And he's like, yeah, we've got this game bigger than your bicep that we think you'd be perfect for, because this was for main page. It wasn't like I was working for things on the film page at this point in time, right? So this is like, you know, from doing the little film interview one, they've now been like, oh yeah, that game and stuff you came up with was cool. What could you do for our big artists, and could we get that onto your big page, right? So Ridge is like, all right, Bam, you've been handling these. We want you to do it. I'm like, I'm meeting The Rock. Like, do you know what I mean? What do you mean? And like, yeah. And then they pass me over to the PR to sort it out and stuff. And then it's like, I'm meeting The Rock. in New York, and Universal were flying me out to fucking go and interview The Rock for 20 minutes. I was just doing a couple interviews. Like, you know what I mean? I just did a couple interviews, but it just all worked out. Like however I am on camera, whatever these games are, the way that it works, however I put people at ease or whatever it is that works about them, that's just how I got into it. And it eventually just spawned into being, because obviously like they associated with like, I'd done some hosting, don't flop stuff, like bad bars, like there's some level of being on camera presence, like, so compared to everyone else in the roster, like they didn't really have any presenters that were just active to go and do this too much, like, so I just ended up doing it, like, you know, and it just went crazy because, like I said, they put a lot of faith in me and went with my ideas and stuff, and were more than happy to have me on camera in the, like, you know, they could have just done it like how a lot of these things are, where it's like just a celeb to camera, and we did do a lot of things like that as well, but yeah, they were happy to put me down as a presenter and stuff, and from that you know, then I'm on a Call of Duty advert or something else.
Yeah, or like some Lynx spray or some ASMR.
The Lynx one, see the Lynx one, that's really cool, right? Because you have to understand that we left Unilad, like I left in January and stuff, yeah? I've personally taken time out because, you know, it was redundancy. I got a good payout. I'm chilling, yeah? I've been working on my freelance stuff and whatever. Lynx was the first, like, presenting gig I got as a freelancer. Like, they came to me, like, out of nowhere. I was just like, what? Like, and it didn't go too well, and they wanted it out on my stuff. Even though I said it's not going to perform well, whatever. They said that's fine. We just want to use you. And I'm like, sick. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's been really cool for me. And I'm just at the moment just working on securing some other things. And it's funny because I could go present for anyone, but at the moment, like, I'm really just, like I said, I got my page to 10K. I'm trying to get everything built up because, like, at the end of the day, all of these people I've worked with and stuff really liked what I did, but this thing that you come up against is, yeah, I can work with other pages, and I might do, depending if I want to work with that page. But, you know, Unilad was a special thing to me, and it's like, I don't know, I don't really want to work for anyone else but myself moving forward, you know. But the thing about that is, like, yeah, sure, people are telling me they want to give me some interviews and stuff, but first, before they give me a trial run on my own socials and stuff, it's like you got to get your numbers up. So anyone fucking listening, go follow all of my stuff in it if you want to see me keep doing that, because that will really help my life. But in the meantime, I'm still doing a bunch of creative stuff and taking mine and presenting gigs. But that's like, you know, I want to stay on that path, man, because I'm sure you feel it as well. There's something so interesting about interviewing someone. Like, it really, like not a lot of people find it, but like for me, like I don't know a lot of things, innit? And I love seeing things through other people's views. So every time I've gone into those situations, it's just been so nice to just like work on a game dynamic or do something and they actually enjoy it. And by the end of it, they don't go like, I never want to work with this guy again or whatever. It's like, that was really fun. I'll hopefully see you next time. It's like, you know what I mean? That's all. Like, that's the fun of it. Like, I'm sure with you, like, at the end of this, yeah, if I turn around and say, well, Tom, that's been fucking shit, you feel like shit. But the thing that happens is everyone goes, this is really fucking fun, because it is. It's really nice to connect and talk to people in this fucking day and age. And that was like what the beauty of interviewing people was for me. And the fact it's like someone that's like The Rock, like, and that's, you know, I think what worked for me is just the fact that I haven't been like media trained, but that's a good thing. I asked to be, and my boss told me no, because we prefer the way that you are now works with people. So stay who you are, kind of thing. So, like, you know, just want to keep doing that, man. But I love making little mini docs and stuff like that as well. Like, that's been like someone, like, you know, like we did the Poker Stars thing in the Bahamas and things like that. It's just fucking amazing. Or going to like Austin for food and stuff has just been, it's been fucking mental.
What about battling? Are we ever going to... I mean, I know we saw you against Madness, but are we ever going to see...
Yeah, we did the Madness thing. Yeah. But honestly, yeah, that battle is... That's my swan song, innit? Like, how can I come back to something that, like, fucking put me through so much and stuff? And now, yeah, like, I have no hard feelings against anyone in the world, innit? Like, I don't want to... I don't even like a lot of my performances just because of, like, you know, what the nature of the battle is. And that's not me being looking back. I'm not like Cage when he's talking about he doesn't want to, like, he wants to delete all of his tracks when he rapped on PCP because that was the best fucking Cage that ever was, yeah? So I don't know what he's talking about. But, like, just moving forward and stuff, why, like, I have an opportunity here to be myself on camera. It's not that being Bamalam, like, when I'm battling isn't myself, but you have to work to such a fucking... You have to become an arsehole, basically. You know, you have to be, to a degree, a battler in that point, in that moment in time. Like, fair enough, you put your own unique spin on it or whatever and stuff. But just for me, I have so much more fun doing all of the stuff that we're doing, and like doing bad bars is like the funny thing about doing a mental health event is like I had so much anxiety that day. I was so stressed like that, like the entire time building up to it, because I've been away from it for so long and stuff, that it wasn't actually that enjoyable an experience by the end of it all. And that's something that I remembered happened a lot with battles. As much as I love that 10 minutes where you're in the moment and stuff, I don't like that prepping. If I'm prepping, I'd rather do it to a beat or something like that, because like writing a track's fun, you know? Like it progresses to something. It's something you can listen back to and hold on to and so on and so forth. But writing a battle is very much like you get so wound up about it and then it's done. You know, that day after a battle, you feel like a soldier home from war. You're like, I fucking killed him. What do I do now? You know what I mean? I just spent 2 months like stressing about this so much and it's gone. And I'm sure that's the same with a lot of performances and all of this other stuff, yeah? But I just, you know, I see there's a great opportunity for like a lot of us like from this, and the skills that everyone's acquired and the things that you can do now with the fan bases that you have and everything from it, like, and it's just nice to connect. Like, you know, it's a lot less pressure doing a battle. I just don't want that pressure anymore. I know it sounds like weird, like it shouldn't be that much pressure and it should be fun, but for as much as I'll do it, it will always feel like that, because I always said from the first time I did a battle, you have to live with the fact that it's immortalized online. Unless you can get it removed, that's it. You got to stand by that. And I'm just not in a place where that's the kind of stuff I want to put online and be immortalized by. You know what I mean?
You've done your time, man. You don't need to battle again. You don't need to.
Yeah, exactly. I thought like I feel like there's some people that just be like, nah, man, you should just fucking battle, innit? Like, so anyone, that's my reason, innit?
Yeah. And we'll wrap up with a few questions. First of all, from the live stream. Let's have a look. Oh, Press One saying Bamalam should clash me.
I just said nah, man. Like, I mean,
you versus Press maybe in some alternative universe. Like, that'd be cool.
That'd be sick.
I mean, George Mann again. I know the answer here. If he was offered a Don't Flop title shot now, would he take it?
Who owns the Don't Flop title at this point in time?
That's a good question. Who does?
Is it even a thing?
Isn't it being contested now? I got a feeling like
Will and
DNA.
DNA. Oh yeah, something happened.
Something like that. Yeah, there's like a world title now. But yeah, Bam. We'll close up with a few quick fire questions. So the first one being your favorite Don't Flop battle.
Oh man, that's like
tough.
The absolute best of Don't Flop parts 1 and 2.
Yeah. And check out the Ruin Your Day of that as well. I mean, it's annoying because we obviously did the Ruin Your Day together and they were fucking great. Go on the channel and watch them. But we did do Shotty versus Tony, which they did the next day. And I think because you were out of shot, you know, unknowingly, that Avo just shit canned it, even though it was a really good episode.
I know. But there will be more.
Yeah.
There will be more.
There always will be, yeah. That's a good attitude to have. What about King of the Dot?
What about King of the Dot?
What's your favourite battle of this?
Mate, do you know what, yeah? Just on recently, Disaster, yeah? First Dumbfounded for Disaster alone, yeah? Because I don't care. He turned up dressed like the Avatar the Airbender and shit, yeah? That's a fun fucking battle, and I've watched it a couple times in recent times just because it's classic Diz, isn't it? But that's it. That's fucking it. That's the only battle, bruv. Like, there's a lot of classics and stuff, but in general, yeah, like, the only thing that sticks out to me right now is Diz battling in the fucking... Wait! Cannabis versus Disasters on King of the Dot, right?
That's right.
That's it. That's my favourite battle.
Yeah,
fuck it.
Vendetta. Unbelievable clash. What about URL? Any URL battles you're a fan of?
Nah. Next question.
None at all?
Nope.
Wow, okay.
I know.
What about your...
it's lost on me, bro.
Yeah, no.
I gave up.
Fair enough. Not even a Head Ice fan.
Not anymore, bro. He let me down. I had to vote against him. Do you know how hard it was to vote against Head Ice? Like, fucking hell.
So final two questions, non-battle rap related. What's your favourite film?
Endgame. Right now, Endgame. There's nothing beating it. Right now.
What about
Endgame.
Before that though? Like
Infinity War, bro. Where do you think this pattern is going? Like,
all right.
Like at the moment, yeah. Like there's just no like it's one movie to me as well, isn't it? Like it's a two-parter. Like it's like Like, there's some great stuff. I tell you a recent like movie that I really liked is the Spider-Verse movie. But if you want some realistic shit, something that always sticks out. I can't remember if it's correct. Is it called like Hell or High Water? Like a really drawn out cowboy movie, but it's fucking dope. Like sheriffs. Yeah,
I was underwhelmed by that, to be honest. I remember that one. Yeah.
I really like that. Like I don't know why that sticks out, but like Black Klansman again. Like in recent times, like there's been a bunch of good movies that sort of have just like been pushed to the side because they came out in this period where Marvel have just been reigning supreme.
And what about favorite musical artist or band that are in no way hip hop related?
Alright, so I'm gonna use this opportunity to cash this in. Everyone check out Still Woozy, right? He's part of the YouTube pop generation. Like, these people that just make everything themselves, even to the videos and all that, and it's just like, and he's just blown up recently. He just got on Coachella and stuff, but he's on his own vibe, man. There's no way to describe it, but like, honestly, just go check out Still Woozy. I've just fallen in love with his music recently. Like, I only discovered he's only got 8 tracks out and he's killing it. He's on Coachella, 8 tracks out, man. Let's go.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Well, never heard of that guy. Definitely will check that out. Finally, I guess social media. How do people get at you? I know there's a lot of avenues there.
I believe it's all at Bamalam now. I've moved on in my career. I've managed to secure all of the like ats. Like I feel like Thanos with the gauntlet right now. Like just at Bamalam on anything, and you will find me.
All right, well, this has been great, man. Really good to catch up. And I want to urge people to go check out all your projects and obviously like the page as well. Follow us. We're on Facebook. I think we've got like 500 likes. Email me, battlerapresume@gmail.com. Patreon is there. iTunes. I just restarted my Tom Waits podcast. So anyone.
You fuck with Tom Waits?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with Tom Waits.
Yo, the carpet needs a haircut, bruv.
Yo, the piano has been drinking.
Yeah, the piano has been drinking.
Oh, man. Do you like Tom Waits? Because I'd love to have you on the Tom Waits podcast.
Not heavily, but I went to see, like, my mum loves him, so I listened to a lot of his music. I love what's he building in there is great as well. But I went to see one of his plays that he did at the Barbican where he made all the music behind it. It was amazing.
Was Alice, was it, or Black Ryan?
I think it was Black Ryan. It was old. It was like going back.
When did you see that?
Years ago, years.
That's cool. You saw that. Fuck.
Yeah, man. It was really cool.
That's kind of his. That came out in an album as well in the early 2000s. But man, this has been great going back. People check out Down in the Hole. Just search Tom Waits podcast on iTunes. Bam. Always a pleasure catching up, man. Thank you.
Me. And we'll have you on Bad Bars next.
Yeah, definitely. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm there for it. And people go check out the Ruin Your Day and stuff like that. Shout out everyone on the live stream. Bam. Thanks again, bro.
Hey, thanks everyone for listening, man. And thank you for having me.